These guys came into the martial arts gym and started trying to get their rights and trying to challenge the coach and the trainer and the trainees. They were being extremely disrespectful, which means that one of the fighters in attendance, one of the visitors to the fight club, was standing there quietly. The thresher didn't decide to come over and find out what the fight was all about. Was offered a simple, friendly sparring session. Sparring, nothing unusual, just to go out and fight and show what you can do. They didn't know that this guy was capable of a lot of things because he's a K-1 champion, which means he can unplug people out of an electrical socket. I wonder if they were confused by the fact that this kid didn't even put on a helmet and picked the biggest fighter. Well, he immediately showed the power of the champion didn't hesitate in his punching and started working the floors. The president got angry and flew at him with the back of his head, for which he paid the price. He paid the price and ended up on the cone. Yes, for a K-1 champion is just entertainment. But the kid, the cocky kid, he's obviously not. But to be fair, the champ didn't beat him up too badly and gave him some to work on him. And then what usually happens to all newcomers. They have a lot of faith in themselves and they're flying forward and completely forgetting about defensive actions in such cases. Beginners very often stumble upon counterpunches, and very often afterwards they get knocked down. And today's situation was no the exception of the challenger once again, rolled to the ring ropes. Well, the lesson has been learned. Lesson learned, and now the guy realizes that appearances can be very deceiving. Just because someone acts super humble doesn't mean he can't fight. It just means that there's a hidden. But that's not the end of the fight. Remember that age-appropriate, long, tall man that you can tell he's also involved martial arts, and not just any martial arts. He's also a former professional fighter. Well, now it's his turn to show what he can do. But this newcomer obviously doesn't know it. He doesn't know he's boxing with a professional fighter. He thinks he's just an older man who's here to exercise. The kid starts making a fuss. He starts waving his arms, his hands in the professional's face and naturally started getting hit with counterpunches. Yeah, the coach is definitely age, but even that age is enough to calm him down. I'm sure after this he'll learn to respect of his elders. On the other hand, this fight was super valuable for him because he was able to fight with a real professional, to see some interesting techniques and moves. But then Sensei got bored fighting with this, so he picked a third, the guy who was also the most determined to fight from the very first seconds of this fight. He flew at the coach. Obviously, he didn't get his hands against such a tall fighter, but he tried his best to reach for him. The trainer showed phenomenal defense, just on his feet, getting away from all the punches and countering with a left side kick. And in the end, when the kid really thought he had it in him, on the canvas with a punch, the kid got really mad. And then he got hit with a series of punches to the body and to the head. That's what happens when you piss off a coach. I'm sure after this kind of sparring, those cocky kids are going to be to avoid this martial arts gym by the country. What do you think about this situation? Make sure to write in the comments. It will be interesting to know your opinion.